Hey everyone, it's Gary from Memory Motors, and today I want to introduce you to my friend Flynn. Flynn is a 1965 Mercury Comet Caliente. We're going to go do a quick walk around for you, show you the good and the bad and the ugly. Paint has just been touched up on the hood and the passenger front fender here. I don't know if you'll see it in this light or not, but there is a slight difference in color, very, very slight, but just want to make sure that you're aware of that. So it was the hood, the passenger side front fender, and the passenger rear door. Many of you may notice too that these are not the correct hubcaps for this car. They're actually off of, I believe, a mid-80s Mercury Gran Marquis, but I think they add a little bit more class to the car. Body itself is in pretty good shape, all along the rocker panels on the bottom. Still in decent shape as well. Just a few odd parking lot chips and dings here and there. There is one spot down at the bottom of the rocker here, pardon the dust, it's a little bit dirty, where there's some rust bubbling through, but other than that, just sort of normal parking lot wear and tear. Nothing major at all. Across the back bumper, there's a few scratches and a couple of minor dings, but no major issues with it at all. And the trunk is still in good shape. No rust evident there at all. Again, I believe the car was completely repainted at some point prior to us getting the vehicle, and then we had to do some touch-up work on it as well because the paint was peeling. This car originally belonged to a gentleman who passed away back in 2010, and his son then took over the car, and then eventually he decided he wasn't getting a chance to use it as much anymore, so he decided to pass it on and let someone else enjoy it. And we're hoping that we can make that person one of our customers. Okay, got her turned around here, so now we can show you Flynn from the other side. Again, conditions pretty much the same all the way around. Front bumper's in decent shape. Again, just a few minor pits here and there. Grill's in decent shape. As I mentioned before, the hood was painted. So you may, again, it probably doesn't show up very well in this video, but in direct sunlight you'll probably be able to see a slight difference in the discolor, slight difference in the color match, but it's very, very minor. A couple of minor chips here and along the door, as you can see, but still, rockers are in really good condition. No issues at all. Tires are also brand new as well. Brakes have been done on this car. New rotors, drums, new lower control arms. Gas tank is relatively new. Again, car's in really good shape. Okay, so the interior does need some work. There's a few places, again, armrest here where it's split, and you can see the seat condition obviously shows wear from 1965, and there is a small burn hole here as well, and again, ripping on the center of the seat. Back of the seat rest seems to be in decent condition. Again, just normal wear. Of course, there is your typical cracked dash, which is normal for these old cars when they're left out in the sun. Carpets are still in decent shape, no real issues there. Headliner is in decent shape, but the dome light is broken. We're trying to find another one for it. We haven't found one yet. And we'll take a look in the back. So again, back seat's in a little bit better shape. Door panels still in pretty good shape. Rockers, as you can see, are solid, no issues there. Back seat upholstery is in better shape. A couple of small marks, tears up at the top here. As I mentioned before, the car was owned by another gentleman. We left some of the lettering that was on the back deck there. That can easily be removed. It's just a sticker. So looking at it from the passenger side, again, you can see there's some body plugs here, so at some point this car must have been undercoated, which is probably what saved it from the typical Canadian condition that you see of these vehicles. But it is still in really good shape around the rockers. No problems there. And for any of you that are local to our location, this car was built in the Oakville assembly plant in Oakville, Ontario. So if you're local to us and you had a relative that worked at the Ford plant, maybe they worked on this car. So maybe your dad or your grandfather helped assemble this vehicle. And if they did, by the looks of it, they did a really good job because it's still in great shape. And take a quick look on the trunk here. Again, original carpeting still in place. Metal down the sides, all in really good shape. No holes there. Everything's good and solid. We did save some of the paint for when the vehicle was touched up, so we have the paint code here should any other work need to be done to it in the future. And it still has the spare tire underneath here with a couple of floor mats. Again, overall really solid condition. Okay, so under the hood, this is our regular Ford 289 two-barrel. You will notice that there's a little bit of a coolant leak. We believe that's coming from the thermostat housing, so that's got to be fixed up, but other than that, no real issues. Shock towers are good and solid, and a new starter's been installed, as well as new starter solenoid. Again, under the hood's in really good shape. Engine runs fairly well. The hood liner is obviously quite deteriorated. We haven't been able to source one of those yet. We've still been looking to see if we can find one, so if you know where there is one, by all means let us know. There is a bracket here that was for the original washer fluid bottle concentrate, which is long gone, but the factory windshield washer does still work on this vehicle. But oddly enough, for those of you that weren't around when these vehicles were put together, the washer fluid is actually a pump ball that's down by your foot, and you actually pump it with your foot to get the washer fluid back up onto the windshield. Okay everyone, so as we promised, I'll do a walkthrough video underneath Flynn, just so you could take a look. You can see that there's one patch that's been put on the inside of the fender here, just sort of riveted on. That's one spot that's kind of weak. The rest of the car is pretty solid underneath. Exhaust is relatively new, gas tank is relatively new. We did have to do some work to the brakes on this one as well. As you can see, the floor is really solid. No issues there at all. All the frame boxes and everything are still in good shape. There's some oil leaking at the transmission. More of a drip than a leak. I haven't really got any stains on the ground as a result of it. It's got a brand new starter on it as well. You can see ball joints, control arms were replaced. And everything up front looks to be in good shape. Rad support, all good and solid. As we mentioned before, the tires on it are brand new as well. Okay everyone, I'm going to take you out for a little ride in Flynn here so you can see how well she runs. So that noise that you hear is just the aftermarket Sony CD player powering up. Gauges are all functional. No issues with those. Now one thing with these cars is that it has two drive positions, D2 and D1. For normal driving, you always start off in D1. D2 actually starts the car off in second gear, which is designed to help you if you're in snowy or muddy conditions to get moving. Doesn't pull at all, goes straight down the road, no issues there. And acceleration is good, just the way it should be for a 289. There is one issue that you may hear, and I don't know if it's evident or not, but there's like a little squeak in the steering column. That's the horn contacts. One of the contacts is worn, so basically there's a spring in there that's sort of in the place of the contact to try and basically get the horn working. So you may hear a bit of a crunching or squeaking noise in the steering column, but that's all that is. It just needs to be replaced.